Good morning, YouTubians. Well, here we are another day. Been trying to let the sun come back out because it's been a yeah, kind of a foggy morning here. It's cool but muggy, and you know what, I owe you guys an update. I haven't really been sitting there doing a whole lot of how-to videos on the chassis. Reason being, how many times can you watch the same type of just brake install or how to flare metal brake lines or something like that? There's so much of it out there. Go check out Duckman Cycles, Easy Jeezy. There's all kinds of other channels out there. VW Darren. I mean, you guys get the drift. There's plenty out there. So I didn't really feel the need to sit there and show you stuff that's already been covered 100 bazillion times. I don't know, that's just kind of the way I felt about it. So, kind of figured I'd give you kind of an in-depth update video. We've also got something that we need to check out. I had a lot of people say I was stupid for doing this. Other people said it'd be fine. We'll get to that here momentarily. But first, it's time to kind of give you guys an update, show you my progress, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this as much as I have. So for the most part, I was hoping by the end of March, beginning of April, to have the chassis done for the 60. Well, it's actually right now the middle of March, not even the end of March. I know there's been a couple videos in between, but hey, look at that. What do you think? Yeah, boy. Chassis is done. Chassis is done. I'm liking the way it turned out. For what I had to work with, I think it's pretty good. So give me a second. We'll go over every bit of this. All right, so if you remember, these are 7 by 15, basically a 28 to 29 inch tall mud tire, truck tire. That's what we got a while back. I have not painted the rims yet, but everything turned out well. We've got our hood latch assembly on there still. Beams redone, frame heads redone, all new steering components. We put grease fittings into the tie rod ends. And if you want to learn how to do that, Slade VW Beetles, he did a real good video on that a while back. We've got disc brakes on the front. I went ahead and relocated the brackets to be able to hold your brake lines. Normally those are back here on part of the frame head. We push those forward, give ourselves plenty of room for the lines. Brakes are done. Pedal assembly's done. We got our pedal stop in there. All that's done. Waiting on a shifter from a local buddy of mine. Put a hydraulic park brake in there, just enough for, you know, holding a traffic light or something if I need to. We've got our battery box in. Nice little Amazon deal to hold the battery. We got coupler in there. We got a safety wired. And of course, all the rear brakes, new Bowden tube, transmission from B&D. We got our clutch cable, throttle cable. There's our line poking out, our fuel line. Rear disc brakes. Neighbors honking at us. I put my test stand starter on just for the time being so I could run the positive wire over. Of course, we got our Kafer bar on there. We got it adjusted out. Rear disc brakes. Again, how many times can you guys watch a disc brake video? I don't get it. All in all, chassis is done. So what have I got left to do on the chassis? Well, right now we need to, can't really set torsion spring and all that stuff until we get the body on, the engine in and all that. So right now I don't have any bump stops on the rear. We'll get to that. Let's see, I've got the bump stops on the front, shocks on the front all the way around. Went ahead and just left the factory bump stops on there for now. If we decide to change that later, we can. All in all, man, it is pretty much done. Really liking the way this turned out. Ended up having to go through a couple different pedal assemblies, all right? The one that came on it was completely frozen. I got one from somebody else. That didn't fit the chassis. It was really long. I don't know. So got this from a buddy of mine. I ended up needing the push rod for the master cylinder. Jeff hooked it up, man. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. So anyway, oh yeah. So we have the rear bump stops we do. We also need to go ahead and bleed the entire braking system, but we'll get to that later down the road. So like I said, we got a lot of work done. But the biggest thing I want to do is we need to get the body out of the backyard. Remember back about a month and a half ago, we said I was going to go ahead and put the body back there, tarp it, and it'd be fine, right? Because we covered the whole thing with ospho. I had quite a few people tell me I was stupid for doing that down here in Florida. I should have done this, should have done that. Well, you know what? it is what it is. So why don't we go ahead, pull the body out of the backyard, get it up here, and together we'll uncover it and see what happened. Why not, right? So let's go ahead and get that body out here and get it set over there.
Is that Kirby you got under there?
No. There we go. It's just as we left it. So if you remember correctly, we pulled the body, set it on the Harbor Freight trailer, put it in the backyard, and that was it. Of course, wrapped it with tarp. I have not even peeked at this. All I know is one of the straps fell off under one of the heavy rainstorms we had, but it is still, oh, we got a wasp nest. I think I'll take care of that real quick before we pull the tarp. And then, together, we'll pull the tarp and check it out and see if the ospho did its job. Let's do this. All right, a moment of truth. Can you guys see? I hope so, because I'm not doing this again. Place your bets. I have to go the other way. That side's full of water. All right, well, there's gonna be no delay. We're switching cameras. So first look, yeah, I got a little bit. It's wiping right off, basically. Wiping right off. A little bit right here, same thing, just a little bit of discoloration, and that's from it just kind of sweating. There's no pitting or nothing like that, just a little bit of discoloration in a couple spots. Overall, yeah, overall not bad. I kind of knew that the short term it would be there, it wouldn't really be an issue. You know, long term, I wouldn't do it long term. I mean, it's a month and a half, and we've had a lot of rain, a lot of hot, a lot of cold. What's interesting though is that it looks the exact same. That's where I put the clear coat on. It looks the exact same. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you got a little bit of surface here and there. It's just real light, nothing major. A little bit through there. Must have had a rip or something in the tarp, because it's pretty thick. Inside, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know what? If I would have probably put something on the roof to help elevate it up a tad, probably would have been just fine. Probably would have been just fine, but there we go. Body's out, chassis done, jawbreaker sitting there, and it's like, we know what we're doing. Ish. All right, so now we got to jostle the body around, get the chassis in the backyard, get the chassis covered up, and then from there, I got to put the body dolly back together so we can get the body on the dolly, because we got a little bit of stuff to do. Well, fog's clearing up, it's getting hot. Let's see if we can get this body dolly sorted out before it gets too much worse. So I had to disable it, or not disable it, completely take it apart so I could turn around and get things stored for the time being. Remember, this thing was really long, really high, because we supported it back here at the body mount point and all the way up here where the gas tank goes, because we had to do the channels. Now that the channels are done, we can support it on the channels like we would normally do. So that means we can lower this body dolly down some and pretty much cut it in half, make it a lot easier. So let's get to modifying. All right, well, there we go. Dolly's back together. Made it a little shorter, There's really no need for it to be as big as it was, since the heater channels are not going to set on these. Not sure if I'm going to have it go this way or this way or this way or this way. Who cares? We just got to get that onto that. And the neighbor just left. So I guess I'm just going to kind of hang tight for a few minutes until I figure out some help, because I'm not doing this by myself again today. Just not feeling it. So I get some help and we'll get it on there. This up, get that out of my way. All right, you ready? Yeah. There we go. I'm ready to come forward. Come forward. This should be good. Yep, perfect. Perfect. That's not bad at all, actually. Sweet, sweet. Thanks.
No problem. Now let me go back to my phone call.
2 people and done. Off the trailer, back on the dolly. So again, this time we're supporting it by the heater channels, since we're not doing heater channels. They're already done. So there we go. We'll go ahead and get that pushed in the garage. I think I may be pretty much done for the day, unfortunately. So next video, you know what? You let me know whether or not you want me to record anymore. You want progress updates like we're doing today? Or do you want more of this is how I'm doing stuff? It's up to you. Because honestly, we have doors to do. We've got a little bit down there in the package tray on both sides to do. Right here where the lip mounts. What else do we have? Oh yeah. So we've got that. Doors right around the windshield right here. Other than that, I want to make some kind of brace for up in here. Then it's a matter of prepping things, possibly putting it in primer. I'm still debating on what we're going to do about that. Are we going to put it in primer? We're just going to clear it as is. I still really want to rhino line this thing. I know, but I still really want to. I think it'll look really good, the color combination that I'm thinking. So anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you do that. This channel is, I don't know what the heck's been going on with it the last 4 months or so. But anyway, we're not going to get into that today. Be kind to one another and be good.